And that's how we start the episode.
I hope we see a horse.
I hope we see a bobcat.
Are they here?
They're everywhere. I mean, you know about this. If you imagine it, it will come.
Maybe my dreams. I'll have a weird bobcat dream later. Because I'm definitely going back to sleep after this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your dreams. So last night, you dreamt about a vampire.
Demon thing.
A vampire demon thing.
Devil character. And it was
Right.
chasing me.
What do you think it represented?
I don't know. I think there's a 90% chance it was just Adventure Time in the background, seeping into my.
That was actually the
subconscious.
episode in Adventure Time.
Yeah.
There is that episode about the vampire demon.
Yeah, and it was just really strange. So there's a chance it was nonsense.
But nonsense is the only sense that makes sense.
Maybe so. But yeah, my dreams are usually pretty crazy like that. Which is insane, because like that takes a lot of creativity for your brain to come up with every night.
You're an artist.
Yeah, but it's like so like untapped that it's kind of crazy. Like people who have really vivid dreams every single night. Isn't that really wild to think about?
I have a feeling that everybody has really vivid dreams every night, but I think that's just because I do.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, I love how I just let you.
Oh no, stop. Okay, I feel bad because he keeps
Oh,
falling.
buddy.
He's really cute.
He's so cute. Do you think you could talk to animals as a kid?
Yeah, I definitely understood them deeply. Oh, poor guy.
Frogs are really cute.
I love frog. That was a sweet frog too.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently if you handle like, I think it's toads, and if they pee on you, you get warts.
What? I
And
thought that was a legend.
No, it's actually true, because I remember with my cousins when I was like 6 or 7, we were in the backyard, and the backyard was like very woodsy. Mm-hmm. And we were like catching toads with like our hands. And I remember I caught one and it peed on me a bunch, I guess because it was like terrified.
Yeah, you scared the piss out of him.
Yeah, and I had warts on all of my fingers for years.
Way. They stayed for years?
For years, because warts are really hard to get rid of because they're contagious.
I always thought that I could talk to animals. Well, now I know I can. But even when I was little, I would talk to animals.
But in the sense that you hear what they're saying back.
Yes, in that sense.
I've never gotten that. I feel like I talk at them, but I don't know what they're
But you
saying.
don't know what they say back?
No.
I feel like you do. Like with Nugget, you get like, you have a sense of what,
Yeah, because I'm like
He's
his mom,
feeling.
you know?
yeah.
I know
Yeah,
him
it's
so
different
well
with your
now.
own children.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the path. I knew where I was going.
Is that the tree? If I accidentally step on a frog, I'm not kidding, it would ruin my entire week.
Don't do it.
So I'm just trying to be really careful. And if you accidentally step on a frog, don't even tell me, please. I'm so serious.
Okay. What's your favorite bug?
I love spiders.
Spiders.
They've always been my favorite since I was little.
Wow, that's cool.
And I used to pick up daddy long legs and chase my preschool teachers around with them, and I'd get in trouble.
I feel like you were so cool as a kid.
I think I was really weird. And one time in preschool, I stuck a paintbrush up my nose and I had to go to the hospital. So,
What do you think was going through your head?
let's give myself brain damage, probably.
Gotta scratch it.
Yeah.
Give me one of your early childhood memories.
That one's pretty vivid. I remember sitting in the office, in like the principal office, and the smell of like Clorox, bleach. Do you remember that smell? It's so
Yep.
distinct from like being in preschool.
Yep. Toxic chemicals.
Yeah, but it's like sweet too. It's like a sweet
Yeah.
bleach smell. And it's so nostalgic. And whenever I smell it, it just like takes me right back. What's your favorite bug?
Grasshoppers at the moment. Grasshoppers are so cool. And I feel really bad because when I was a kid, I used to
You're gonna say
take,
something horrible.
it's so horrible. I used to take grasshoppers and I would, this is crazy actually. I used to nail them to boards.
That's like really psychopathic.
I know.
Like you should be a serial killer right now.
I know. I might be.
That's really scary.
It's super
You would have
wild.
been my enemy as a child.
Probably. But I didn't like think about it as a life.
That's crazy to me.
So weird. And now I love them, but I think it's because I have to make up for all the grasshoppers that I crucified.
You are literally Pontius Pilate to several grasshoppers.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know. I'm like Herod.
Wow, that's fucked up. Though.
I know. I gotta atone for my sins.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, high key.
Yeah, for real. It's so weird how, as a kid, like, your just perception of everything is so different. Like, my little nephew, he does the same thing. Like, he'll, like, see a bug and he'll just go and squash it. Like, there's a snail and he just, like, kills it. I'm like, yo, don't do that. But I think it's like a power thing. Like when you're a kid and if you feel powerless in whatever your dynamic is, there's like this I can take a life thing.
That's really intense.
I know.
I've never had that thought.
Yeah, it might be more of a masculine thing.
Yeah, because that's a lot.
Yeah.
And I
know.
used to be the bug catcher of the house. So like if there's a spider or something scary in the house, like I would be the one to like catch it and put it outside.
To save it.
And I remember one time when I was like 14, there was like a wasp stuck in the house and I had like a butterfly net and I had to like catch it to put it outside and I accidentally killed it with the net and I actually cried. I cried for hours. I felt so bad.
Dang. I like ladybugs a lot too. I didn't kill ladybugs.
Ooh, that's nice.
That was it. I killed everything else.
I know, there's this insane TikTok account that pops up on my feed all the time, and I don't even like interact with it, but it's like a TikTok live account, and it's like torture devices for flies. And it's like this thing that like spins, and they get caught, and it like kills them. And I'm like, you people have problems.
Yeah.
That's not normal behavior.
That is crazy.
And I remember when I was like a teenager and I started like being like interested in like people like romantically.
Yeah.
If they would like kill a bug around me, it was over. Even if it was like a mosquito and they do this. Oh my God, biggest ick.
Wow. That's cool though. Because you were sensitive.
I hated it.
Yeah, I think we were arch enemies in a past life.
Yeah, we would have fought in a war.
Yeah, against each other for sure. But now you're one of the coolest people in my life.
That's good to hear.
We've done a lot of work.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, to get here. What do you think most people's first impression of you is?
Probably not anything good.
I don't know about that.
I think it's very recent. Like it's a very recent development for me to like actually like actively try to come off like friendlier because I'm very like this when I meet people. Like I don't, like I just learned when you meet people like being like super friendly and nice and like giving a compliment, like smiling.
You learned that.
I just started doing that.
Interesting.
Because it wasn't natural for me.
But that to me is so cool that you could go into a place and not care what people think or have to turn on niceties.
Yeah,
that's superhero shit.
but that definitely has gone. I think a lot of people think like, oh, she's pretty bitchy. And I probably was. Yeah, I've been. But it wasn't out of meanness. It's just like not caring to like
To put
try
on a
so
thing.
hard, kind of.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I think a lot of people, like, I think maybe first impression, like a little bit bitchy. Especially because a lot of the times when I'm out and I'm meeting people for the first time, I get like sensory overload. So I'm just like not feeling it.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm out with my friends.
I feel like I'm kind of working in the opposite direction. Like my natural state was to try to, I guess, to have people like me. And so later on in my life has been to not care. Not to care, that's not the right way to put it, but not try and to just be and observing. And I feel like you're very good at that, being and observing, especially now. And like you look at people with love, even if you're not trying to be anything,
Yeah, that's a hard thing for me to understand though. Like, because even like my best friend, she struggles with like the whole people pleasing thing. And I've never, like, I understand what it is now, logically, but I've never really experienced that, which
Yeah.
is kind of crazy.
That's wild.
But it's all
That's
like
cool.
upbringing, right? Like
Yeah.
we had different upbringings.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's so crippling for her that it's really insane for me to see because I just don't, like, I understand why, but I don't get it.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
it'll be like, oh, I have plans with this person, but I actually really don't want to do it. But I feel bad, like I can't tell them no. And I'm like, just say you're not going. Like, what's the problem?
Yeah, like logically.
I'm like, what's the issue?
Right.
But it's like crippling for her. She's like, well, I feel like I'm going to disappoint them. And it's just so nuts because, I don't know, I feel like I definitely feel bad if I let someone down, for sure. I feel a lot of guilt, but I don't know. I never felt like I need to do this thing that this person's expecting. Unless I make a promise, that's different.
Yeah, sure.
If it's like, I made a deal with someone or like upholding what
Yeah.
you say you're gonna do, that's different.
Sure. That's really cool.
Yeah, I don't know why it turned out like that.
I don't know why either. I don't know why you are the way you are. That's really cool, though.
Yeah, and it's actually really funny. This is so random, but the other day at the show, I brought my mom, and we were sitting in the green room, and we were talking about like singing or like music or something, and I was like, it's so weird because like no one in our family sings or is musical like in my blood, and I was like, it's really weird. Like, where did that come from? And she's like, oh, well, your dad used to sing all the time, like in the shower and stuff. Like, he could sing. I never knew that.
Interesting.
Yeah. And that was like a weird, whoa, genes like are a thing.
It's so wild how your genes, your DNA, your blood, it's like every single human being who has come before you is in you, like encoded all that information, thousands, millions of people, like every emotion that they ever felt, every thought that they ever had is you, and you're like this mountain stacked, and like everyone who came before you is like a layer of like this mountain, and then you're here, and like someone who learned to sing down the line is just embedded into you.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's a weird feeling too, because like I don't really know anything about my dad, like my biological dad, so it's strange. It's strange, but everything I know is like about him is like pretty bad stuff. So it's weird to have like knowledge of like one thing about him that I carried over.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I look like him the most.
Really?
Like same face, copy and pasted.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Weird thing to think about. Do your parents sing?
My mom sings. She said she used to want to be a singer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I can see that for her.
She still sings. She works with kids with disabilities. So she does this thing called circle time every morning. She's done it for, I don't know, decades. And she'll lead like children's songs around this like circle. She works with like kids with Down syndrome and of all sorts of different things. But these kids are so cool, and she just like sings along with them. She wrote this grasshopper song that slaps. It's so good. And I produced a beat for her for it and recorded it.
Oh my God.
And it's so dope. She's such a superstar. And she just doesn't even like know it or care.
Yeah, just is.
Yeah, she just is.
I find that so interesting that some people have like a talent and they like don't wish to exploit it.
I know. I know, same.
Like some people are just so naturally talented and it's just like in the background of their lives, like they don't want to like make it into a life.
Yeah. I dated a girl once who was like an amazing singer. Like came out the womb with the voice of a goddess, like crazy. And I remember just talking to her once. I was like, do you want to do it? Like I could help you write songs and produce. And she was like, sort of, but then she's like, but if I made it, like I wouldn't want to tour and I wouldn't want to really play shows. I don't enjoy it. And I'm like, what? But I guess it's kind of cool in some ways. Like you have this thing and you're just like, I want a simple life.
I think it's way cooler because it's also like so not driven by ego.
Yeah.
Because like most of us artists are completely driven by ego.
I fully became an artist based on my ego.
Yeah.
I wanted girls to like me. I wanted to be cool. But your ego drives you to start things, and then you got to transcend it and get over it. But your ego's a useful tool.
Yeah, it is.
For sure.
Okay, what was your first impression of me?
Well, the very, very, very first time, I think I was just like in the house and you were outside, and then I like waved to you sitting by the fire. I didn't really have an impression because you were sitting in the dark. But the first time, I think you came in the kitchen, I was cooking a burrito, and my impression was very strong presence. You didn't say much, but I thought, okay, she could be really great or really bad. I was like, this could go either way. That was my real impression. But I saw a lot of light in you right off the bat. I saw like a really beautiful soul and beautiful spirit. Like I remember looking in your eyes and there was a lot of depth. But then I was also like, the decision which way she chooses to go could determine Yeah. Yeah. But it's been so cool to get to know you and to like experience your journey, because you do have so much light and you have such like a strong gravity in you, and a love, like truly like a love for people and for those you care about. Like you're a ride or die.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's the Aries in me, but also the Cancer rising.
Yeah.
I'm so mommy sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, you take care of people.
Yeah, I tried to. But I think I was a menace when I was younger, so that's why a lot of it is like making up for it. You know?
Yeah.
And you're like a teenager, you're learning to like be on your own for the first time, and yeah, I felt like I wasn't really good with friendships. I didn't have a good grasp on them because I also moved a lot my whole life growing up. So I never had like those long childhood friendships. So when I got older, it was like, you know, if something happened, like or a problem came up, I would just kind of move on from people. And I feel a lot of guilt about that as I gotten older, because, you know, people aren't things to like discard.
Sure.
So it's nice though, because I feel like I have a lot of friendships now where I go through like those rough periods and then we come out of it, and that is like so beautiful to me.
Yeah. Those are always the gems.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it feels good to know that like I'm not like that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like anytime there's a problem or one of those like hard spots, there's always a gift at the end of it if you work through it.
Yeah, I mean that's also like that's just like abandonment issues, like hardcore. Is like, you know, abandoning people before they do
Whoa.
you. So that was kind of like a theme for probably will be a theme of my life forever.
Whoa.
But I think as long as you're just aware of it, that helps.
Yeah, definitely. What was your first impression of me?
Probably like, this dude's weird.
That sounds about right.
Probably like, oh. I don't remember making any snap judgments about you though. Like I honestly don't have a very vivid memory of being like, oh, he's like this. And then the more I got to know you, I was like, yeah, he's weird.
Yep. That's true.
Yeah, but he's also cool. And I feel like I've had some of the deepest conversations I've had with you over the past couple of years, especially about like music and artist stuff.
Yeah.
So
We've had some good ones.
I just remember like when I was like, before I started this project and I was like in limbo kind of, and I was just like so negative. And I was just like, maybe I'm not meant to do this.
Yeah.
And we would just talk about it. And I think just like hearing your stories about like how your old label didn't believe in like the direction you were going in, and then like seeing that success from like Happy Face, even though it's what got you dropped.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, maybe people don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And that helped a lot for me, because then I was like, actually I can do whatever I want, and I can go in any direction I want.
Yeah.
And then I did that with Liar, and that was like the first song that I made from the like new stuff.
Yeah, it's been like some of those conversations that we've had, like I think we're such mirrors for each other in so many ways, like sort of opposites looking, And like, but there's been times where like I've had my own self-doubts, and I'll remember things you said, like about, like when we listened to the 33 album, and like you just said some really kind things about that and me as an artist, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. And I have to like sometimes remind myself.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, I was thinking about that the other day, like the power of like someone being genuinely kind to you.
Yeah.
Because I can remember so many random comments or like compliments that were truly so kind, like throughout my entire life, you know? And I feel like my memory is so trash, but I remember like those moments.
Yeah.
And that's so powerful, because a lot of us like have so many bad memories of people being like mean to us or evil. But those memories of people being super kind are like also as powerful.
Yeah, they can get you through it for sure.
Yeah, I remember literally being in high school, and I was a cheerleader for like 2 years.
Yes.
I was like the comic relief, I think. But I remember being in the bathroom with the girls, and we were like getting ready for practice or something, or a game. And I was just like, you know, singing to myself. And this girl comes up to me and she's like, you actually have a really nice voice. Like, you should be a singer.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, like I'd never heard that before. And yeah, it's like little stuff like that I remember throughout my life.
Yeah.
Which is really crazy, because we don't really like thank people enough for like shaping us like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like I ever went back and was like, thank you for saying that.
No, but they really like, they shaped you.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in junior high, I like wrote my first songs, and they were so bad, and I had such a terrible voice. But this one kid who was older than me came over, and it was like a church camp, and I was like playing my guitar in the back, like in this room, and he came in and he's like, yo, you're really good, man. And then he like brought like the older kids in, like, yo, listen to this. And that's probably the reason why I started actually doing it, is because that person was like, yo, you're really good. And I was like, and I was terrible, but he was just being nice.
But maybe he also just like genuinely thought you were really good.
Yeah, or maybe I think he probably more just saw something like, oh, it's cool that he's just doing this.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I see that. I see that.
Do you think anything is really killing anything?
Well, you know, I think about like the ethics of eating animals a lot. I'm not going to get into that as a human being eating animals, but I do find it interesting that animals will eat like other animals while they're still alive.
Yeah.
Like, that's really brutal.
I mean, I was a vegan for a long time. Well, I guess I never said I was a vegan because I'm no thing, but I ate vegan food for a long time.
Yeah.
But I eat meat again now because I kind of came to, for myself, the conclusion like, all right, eating plants is good. And I think eating animals is, for me, morally fine, because it's like, if you're gonna eat one level of consciousness, which is like plants, then
Froggy.
the next level of consciousness you're eating is an animal, but that animal had to consume so many plants to give you like those nutrients. So you're still really eating plants, but it's just like life begets life, begets life, begets life. And so.
Well, I was just thinking, because I saw this video of this like bird thing. I forget what it was. I think it was a bird, like a pelican or something. And it just ate this giant, beautiful butterfly, like while it was just like flying around. And I was like, man, like that bird has no thoughts about this butterfly being alive and like killing it and eating it.
Yeah.
It just ate it.
But it's all one thing. Like we're all eating each other, and the bugs are eating each other. It's like that Ouroboros snake. Like, we're just eating everything.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, isn't it?
It is. We're eating ourselves. That's what it is.
Henry, I can't believe you didn't see that the second they started talking.
There's just a frog. I wanted to protect him from you guys.
I was wondering what you were doing.
Because I was like, they're not going to see him. He's going to get pulverized.
Oh, you saved him.
I had to get him out of the way.
Good job. Yeah, he would have gotten trampled.
Here you go. Stay out of the road. All right, well, this was nice.
That's good. That's terrible. Wait,
We talked about grasshoppers and
frogs, and
that's as deep as I go.